I advise Beyonce to divorce Jay-Z as soon as possible because I'm ready to shoot a documentary about Jay-Z, and I guarantee it will outgross Diddy's documentary. If Beyonce sends me a legal letter on behalf of Jay-Z, I remind her to stay quiet. This is a dispute between men, and she has no right to interfere. I have to let everyone see the true face of Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Diddy have been longtime friends, and their business dealings never stopped. He frequently attends Diddy's parties, so why do people think he's innocent? Jay-Z and Diddy got involved in the same case in 2024, where a victim claimed she was assaulted by both Jay-Z and Diddy. I remember Jay-Z saying these were all rumors and that he was defending Diddy. But ironically, Diddy got arrested in 2025. And there's enough evidence to count his crimes on one hand. I've known them for 20 years, and I know how many bad things they've done behind the scenes. After Jay-Z founded his company, he repeatedly got into copyright disputes. In 1999, he was convicted of third-degree assault and served time in prison. He was unfaithful to Beyonce, and he was caught by Beyonce's sister. I think everyone has seen the footage of him getting beaten up in the elevator. I've already gathered the evidence, and I'm going to give Jay-Z this.
They were protected by silence. 50 Cent's new documentary asks why that silence lasted so long around Sean Combs, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. Hip-hop's most enduring controversies have been framed as isolated moments. But this documentary reframes them as a system, one where access, loyalty, and silence carried measurable value. As 50 Cent positions his film, the focus shifts from personalities to structures. Who benefits when narratives stall? Who pays when questions persist? And why certain stories never advance beyond rumor? When patterns repeat across time and talent, at what point does coincidence give way to design amongst all of us and laughing and joking with each other?
Rise.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us, black excellence, right there.
That had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch, like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you just this year. Come on, bro.
That's the problem. You didn't realize on Monday that every word that you said was going to be invalid.
Influence and entertainment rarely operates alone. It consolidates through proximity. The documentary traces how careers accelerate near centers of capital and stall when distance is enforced, suggesting that proximity itself becomes leverage. Within this lens, associations around Diddy and Jay-Z are examined not as proof, but as context, a map of who stood close, who moved away, and who stayed quiet. When access becomes currency, who controls the exchange?
And laughing and joking with each other. Then over the years, I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact, they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is, and was, rambunctious, you know, just out with it. It don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quiet with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into Jay-Z?
They were just talking. They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. They little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It definitely was some snake shit.
Well, you know, Meek Mill is also someone who has been tied into this whole Diddy.
Public silence can be restraint, but it can also be strategy. The film examines moments when high-profile figures declined comment, declined interviews, or let legal process speak first, choices that shape public memory without adding facts. In media ecosystems driven by immediacy, silence can slow inquiry and redirect attention. When the loudest response is no response, what does that choice protect? Clip 4. That wouldn't have happened. A critical turn arrives as allegations enter the public record through filings, interviews, and sworn testimony, moving discussion from whispers to documents.
Yana was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam history.
The documentary does not decide outcomes. It catalogs the transition from speculation to verifiable process. As records accumulate, timelines harden and contradictions narrow. When the record expands, which narratives withstand scrutiny and which require revision?
And those men sit up there and seen her being abused by him, and they did what everybody else did for years in the industry. They kept it quiet and kept doing business with her.
Do you think a lot of people know what Puff was doing and kind of just turned a blind eye?
Yeah. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. He had got so... You're listening. Everybody in the world knew he took a cowbell and tried to beat the coach up with it. Nobody did nothing. They heard stories for years about him slapping, beating Kim and all other women that he was with. I'm surprised more haven't came out with it. They don't probably want the attention or whatever. But there's more women out there can say that he probably put their hands on them.
With Usher, Neo, and Jimmy Iovine being exposed as somebody who might have potentially seen this type of behavior, you know, do you think that they will try to call them on the stand, or, you know, like, do you think they should be held accountable for some of that too?
Well, I think that when you have situations like that and you're in a room with somebody, you can't make them see anything when they come to the stand, because all they can say is that I didn't see it. I was there. I wasn't looking in that direction. I don't know what really happened. All I know is Cassie was holding her stomach, bent over, throwing up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they'll say anything. Their lawyers will tell them what to say. They have people to teach them what to say in circumstances and situations like that. So Dawn, yes, she saw it. She saw that they were there, and they should have seen it too. She would have to describe when that happened. What did Usher do? What did Neo do?
Legacy is not erased by a single claim. It is tested by how institutions respond to claims. The film places icons within their historical arcs, creative impact, cultural leadership, and philanthropic reach, then asks how legacies absorb scrutiny without collapsing into defensiveness. In moments of challenge, does legacy invite transparency, or does it demand insulation?
He's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. such a hard time. He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
We need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't. Did it? Think of the past. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
Coverage shapes consequence. By comparing headlines, omissions, and framing across outlets, the documentary interrogates how media attention can amplify some stories while muting others. Editorial choices, what leads, what waits, what never airs carry weight. When coverage becomes uneven, who sets the agenda and who bears the cost?
Become an icon as far as in the music business and stuff that he did to turn around and just tear his whole life down. But it's all because of his mentors and the people that trained him and taught him the music business. You know, it's all about the people who trained and taught him the music business, because Puff wasn't, he wasn't born a monster. You know what I'm saying? He was made into a monster, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was made into a monster from the stuff that happened to him, the things that he had to do. You understand? The things that he had to do to become who he is. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like this, brother. You never like something so much that you can't do without, and you never be willing to do anything to get where you want to be at. You got to have principles, you got to have morals, you got to keep with that stuff. And in that music business, a lot of that stuff get thrown out the window. You understand? And that's what happened to him. He started doing the things to other people that was done to him. To keep it frank, he was doing the things to other people that was done to him. And it is what it is. You gotta know better. And if you know better, you will do better. When he was in New York City, he was like that gecko from the Geico commercial. Then he turned and started going, when he lived in Cali and Miami, he turned into Godzilla. I would see him talk about how he using drugs. He was never like that. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed and everything like that. He turned into something that you could consider a monster, bro. Then he started doing things to people, you understand, that He learned. That's a learned behavior, bro. Now, I'm not saying that he may have been doing a couple of things here and there with women, stuff like that in New York, but the things that they're talking about that he was doing, bringing in prostitutes to have sex with his girl and all that stuff like that, that was some crazy stuff to me, man. So I'm just looking at this whole thing, man, and you had asked me, and we don't have these conversations.
Those Who Don't Risk Eraser. The film examines accounts of pressure, legal, social, and economic, without adjudicating their truth, focusing instead on the environment in which speech occurs. Fear does not require proof to function. It requires plausibility. In a system where consequences feel asymmetric, how free is any choice to speak?
Lawyers and everything, his lawyers wrote that shit up, and now he presenting to the people like he wrote it. Everybody know that if he's stealing rhymes and he's stealing bars, I know that's your man, Mighty. But you know there's a lot of bars and a lot of rhymes he done stole from people. If he's stealing rhymes and he's stealing bars, he ain't write no letter like that for nobody and to nobody.
I mean, Jay was paying homage, man, showing respect.
Oh, okay, he was showing respect?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Tupac and Biggie showed the same respect too, right? Huh? Oh, you ain't got nothing to say about that. All right, okay. I guess Big L was showing respect too, right? I guess Cam them show respect too, huh? It's a lot of rappers, man. I guess Mace was showing respect too. It's a lot of rappers, man. They don't steal. Yo, Mighty, I'm finna blow you out the water. This nigga stole the whole song. I got 99 problems, and now he finding out a bitch is one. Come on now. He stole a whole song from Ice-T. Didn't give him the props on it. I know you're gonna cut this part out, but it's the truth. Let's get back to the letter. Now, he called the lawyer ambulance chasing and all that stuff like that. I think Tony Busby probably got a lawsuit against him now. You understand? Defamation of character, the whole 9 yards. So Jay gonna have to say, I didn't write that, my lawyer wrote that. But he came out like saying that he wrote it, like he was doing that. So he got him a defamation claim, defamation. I think Tony Busby got a defamation lawsuit against him right now. Against his character, this, that, and the third, the whole 9 yards. So as far as that letter is concerned, man, Tony Busby sent him a demand letter, award letter. All lawyers do that. He didn't go out the scope of what the information he had from representing his client. Now Jay-Z is sitting back, you know what I'm saying, going at him personally. Now, all this back and forth and this media stuff like that, 9 times out of 10, you usually don't find that lawyers going at each other in the media. They be doing that shit in the courtroom, but it makes for entertainment. And I guess we're being entertained by this bullcrap.
As institutions investigate and courts weigh evidence, the public faces its own responsibility to resist shortcuts, to separate rumor from record, and to demand clarity without cruelty. If power thrives in the shadows, what does it owe the